Hey guys, uh, happy new champ day. Um, just want to talk about the new champs that got released today and basically just talk about the fusion. Um, yeah, I think that not going for Maria is going to be a big mistake for a lot of dudes. I think she's really rad. I think she's going to help out a lot in Fire Knight if you're having troubles there. I know for me, I run a two Newt, two Mikage, and and a Podrick team, but I think if you have any blender team, she's going to be quintessential for your Fire Knight. Really, just because this A1 is a three hitter with a third of a chance of getting an extra turn, even with that this cannot gain more than one extra turn, I think that's still big. You're talking about a potential six hitter on an A1. That's ginormous. Huge. So I think that's big. But going into it, if she gets that extra turn, and the unfortunate thing is you have to manual, uh, you could turn off some of the presets here, but that's okay. Um, I kind of like to manual things from time to time, but getting this out there, the Gore Scream, even though you're not going to have buffs, because ideally you want to have a Fire Knight team that the Fire Knight doesn't take any turns, this is still going to be pretty big, just getting an extra turn if she has buffs, um, which she should. We all have the ability to get Mikage one way or another, and you know, on that A3 of hers, she puts out there that increase crit damage and increase attack, I want to say. Let's find out here. Attack and crit damage. So that's two. You put a blood shield on her, and she gets that extra buff right there. So, like, right there, uh, she gets that extra turn. So, the extra turn mechanics are going to make it fun for her. But really, it's just going to be neat in PvP as well. Like I saw Cruisin's video and Nub's video on her, and she's definitely going to bring a lot of fun. Uh, I, I obviously I don't want to miss her, so I'm going to be going for her for sure. But the big get for me is Gaspard. Um, yeah, he's got the guillotine blade. He just looks rad. But aesthetics aside, I think this dude is gonna be hella clutch. This A1 is an AoE, decrease attack and weaken, and it's based on defense, which we know he's gonna be tanky because dude's almost at 1600 defense. But having this AoE A1 is wild. And the fact that you have a 75% chance when he's booked to decrease attack and weaken on it, huge. Like, provoke, okay, this screams Hydra, but I will say that there are going to be wave content that he's going to be clutch too. He is void, so he's not going to be weak hitting. So putting out there a provoke, this guy's going to be really annoying when we get to face him in future content, right? When Plarium releases these champs, I get excited because I want to play with them, but also on the flip side, they may also put them in future event dungeons or anything like that. And he's going to be a big pain because that provoke. And then he's putting an increased defense and a shield for allies. That's nutty. And immediately I'm thinking we could put on feral on him or protection. And I just feel like I feel like a broken record because those are two major gear sets that I like to use. You could put them in lethal if you want to ignore all as much defense as you can. So like this guy has just a lot of use. Um, this is pretty big, man. Decapitates a Hydra head, fills turn meters, and I mean like he's got the AOE hits, so it's gonna be out there. You put him with a Hexer, so like Mithrala and Gaspard, you're talking about a pretty lethal dose right there. Um, anybody with Hex with an AoE backed up, like that's huge. So he's definitely gonna be doing a lot of damage. Definitely getting a lot of attacks. You know, it's unfortunate that this is only when an enemy is revived. It's like I feel like there could have been something else here. Like maybe when an enemy's at like 1%, Gaspard like could do some damage. Like he'll proc an attack to like do the fatal blow. Something like that. Like if there's an enemy at 10%, this champion will will strike or something like that. Will cut in. And I think that that would be awesome. I was really hoping for something like that to take into that guillotine blade, just that cut in, but that's fine. That's just me being Chomsky, But this is rad, man. It's still good. I like it. Um, a 50% chance of you stand accused, so that's just a straight up one hitter, ignoring 25% of the target's defense. With a niche revive, I think that's pretty rad. And he basically says, "Yo, Lydia, doesn't matter. I'm still reviving." That's awesome. I am really really psyched for him. Totally deserving of that void legendary status. So I think that's just awesome. And then Valencia, I mean, okay, I think she's all right. I mean, a triple hitter. We know that typically those triple hitters don't really hit that hard, but it's still nice to have that. She is a support, so I'm not really banking on a bunch of attack, a bunch of damage out of her, but it's still nice. We get a strip here and then a black buff, decreased defense. So Ugo, but with an actual revive. Um, you know, the increased skill cooldown, okay, that's cool, but we're not going to be bringing her out there to to PvP necessarily because we know that there's going to be mythicals out there. So like they just swap form and that just basically makes it make that's just dumb. Um I do like this of just filling up her turn meter. So neat, man. She gets a fifth of a turn meter whenever an ally dies. You I, I pair her up with Sun Wukong and she should be going pretty fast. Then you could do this if you don't want to wait for that passive of Wukong, and just to decrease that dude's skills. Like so, there's definitely a lot of fun you could have with her. I Out of the three new champs, the fusion I'm going to be going for. But if you're not going to be going for them, then that's fine. But I think she's going to have a lot of use for a lot of mid tier accounts for sure. I think she's going to replace Ugo in a lot of teams because she actually has a set revive and it's a 4 turn cooldown and it's an AoE revive in Night Rev. That's pretty solid. Um, we have Rector Drath doing solo. So like for Night Rev Faction Wars, I think she's going to be pretty big. Uh, is she going to replace Ancora? Maybe. I like the shield and stuff with her, but I don't know. So I don't know. I do like Valencia, but I don't know. We'll see. Again, it's it's a fusion, so we'll see where it goes. Thanks again. Find me on Twitch, Noma My Chomsky, and we'll take things from there. All right, take care.